feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful. When you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Oh, if you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful. When you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, you're the question, you're the answer. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Oh, if you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful. When you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time.
A very good evening, welcome to World Cup 2026 as we kick off the knockout stages of the tournament. The round of 32 gets underway in the home of Hollywood in Los Angeles tonight. South Africa take on Canada, two sides competing in their first ever knockout game in the World Cup, facing off for one to continue to create history for their nation. Co-host Canada missed the opportunity to have home advantage for their knockout games with finishing runners-up in their group. South Africa quite magically finished runners-up in their group. But who will progress on our first of 16 round of 32 games here on LFS? There is the look at the list of games to come over the next couple of days here in the round of 32. But a quick look at the pre-match facts. Well, as I said, both teams are playing their first ever World Cup knockout game. South Africa finished as runners-up in Group A after a matchday 3 win over South Korea that secured their spot in the last 32. Well, Canada, they also finished as runners-up this time in Group B after losing to Switzerland on matchday 3 meant they couldn't finish as group winners and ultimately hampered their chances in terms of home advantage not being a factor. Of course, these two have never met in a competitive game before, and the winner, and when it eventually comes, will play the Netherlands or Morocco, who will play in the middle of tomorrow night for that battle in the round of 16. We're in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, the home of the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers in the NFL. And it is a battle of two famous nations taking their most important game at a World Cup in their histories. Canada is the co-hosts. They didn't have a win, a point, and barely many goals at this World Cup before this tournament got underway. And now they look for their first ever knockout victory and progression. For South Africa, it's the same applies. They've had their histories before. Previous, of course, hosts of the tournament didn't progress as the home country. Well, in the home of others, they have turned it around, and South Africa have come through under Hugo Bruce. A wonderful, wonderful story for South Africa. Tomorrow we have an incredible doubleheader of round of 32 action. Brazil taking on Japan at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, followed by Germany, Paraguay tomorrow evening as well at 9:30. Then on Tuesday we'll have a doubleheader as well for you. Côte d'Ivoire, Norway, followed by France, Sweden. Netherlands, Morocco is in the middle of the night, and we'll have the result of that on Tuesday. But lots to look forward to in what is an exciting bracket. As you can see, this is where it all begins, and we will fill this out as we go, mark it off our calendars for some exciting matchups to come. And this one, the third game down on the left-hand side of your bracket there, this game, and the winner of this, as I said, will play the winner of Netherlands, Morocco in the early hours of tomorrow, or on Tuesday morning, shall I say, for that one. Let's have a look at the teams then for this one, starting with South Africa. And Roman Williams starts in goal, a back four of Madao, Okon, Mbukazi and Modiba. Mukena and Sitole are in midfield. Mofokeng is in the 10. Maseko and Apollis are the wingers, with Magopa the centre forward. On the bench for South Africa, Goss, Shine, Cross, Sabele, Bele, Ndamane, Sabisi, Makhanya, Kabini, Matuludi, Adams, Mbata, Rayners, Foster and Maremi. Of course, no Thembazwane. He is suspended. Well, for Canada, Crepeau starts in goal. Alistair Johnston continues at right back, along with Bombito coming in for De Fougerolles at centre back. Cornelius alongside him. And Richie Larea continues at left back. Alphonso Davies on the bench, but Jesse Marsh says he will play a part in this game. Nathan Saliba and Estacio are the midfield two, with the wide players of Miller and Buchanan, and Oluwaseyi and Jonathan David are the front two, with Kyle Larin dropping to the bench. Sinclair, Goodman, Jones, Davies, Waterman, De Fougerolles, Segur, Osorio, Chonier, Ahmed, Larin, Schaffelborg, Nelson and Promise David, all on the Canadian bench. Can the co-hosts continue their push in this tournament, or will South Africa progress and knock out the co-hosts Canada? We will find out, because these two playing in their first ever knockout game at a World Cup. Could they progress? We'll find out. Kickoff is next. A very good evening. Thank you very much for joining us as we get ready for kickoff here in LA. South Africa v Canada in the round of 32 to get the knockout stages underway. Remember, extra time and penalties if necessary to decide a winner. If it gets that far, remember, a winner inside 90 minutes is what we hope for. It's a bit early for extra time and penalties, but you can never rule it out. Certainly not. And these two teams, well matched, well battled. It's a really good matchup between these two. In terms of their FIFA rankings, there is much disparity. 60th in the world are South Africa, 30th in the world are Canada. But it all comes down to the next 90 or 120 minutes or more to see who will play in the round of 16 and progress even further, and for the first time progress from a knockout stage of the World Cup. It will be the co-hosts who get us underway here in LA. It's Canada off and running. South Africa in yellow shirts, green shorts, and Canada in all black for this one. And they're hoping that they can keep their place in the tournament and not be the first of the co-hosts to be knocked out of the tournaments. Of course, all three co-hosts, the US, Canada and Mexico, all progressed to the knockout stages, which is a real feat. An opportunity for all three to continue to impress at this tournament. They've all had a wonderful campaign so far, but they don't want it to end here at this stage and at this juncture. We'll find out if that will happen. We're really looking forward to this one. I think I look forward to any knockout game of football, but when it comes to the best and some of the best, this is certainly one of the most intriguing matchups for the knockout stages, because you don't know what to expect with these two teams. They've both impressed but also had their moments of a little bit of fragility in these moments and in this tournament already, and you kind of wonder, is it something that they both need to be wary of, that they aren't the most prolific of teams, but at the same time they need to be a bit more dynamic when going forward, because it is not going to be as simple as just defending your way through it. Canada have got options here down the left with Larea. No way through there as he was challenged by Modiba. Picked up by Liam Miller though. Stackio, Miller just couldn't keep a hold of the ball there, Miller, as it's cleaned out by Modibo for a throw-in. From that respective throw-in, they try and work it to the byline, and in the end it's well defended there by the South African defence. That's gone for a goal kick. South Africa try and go longer there. That one straight into the path of Alistair Johnston though, the Canadian right back. Miller. Back to Bombito, who comes into the side ahead of Luc de Fougerolles, who is the one dropped to the bench at centre back, although they've given it away here, Canada. It's a Paulus here for South Africa. Back to Madao. Now Mbukazi back to his goalkeeper, Ronwen Williams. Well, a clean sheet against South Korea will be a major boost to the South African defence, who really seemed to have a struggle at keeping teams out in the first two games. Here's Liam Miller. Plays it backwards though. Canada with the majority of the ball so far. You would expect them to have more of the ball. We kind of expect South Africa to be a bit more standoffish, sit a bit deeper and try and hit on the break. I think Canada will be the team that will be expecting to dominate possession, to dominate the play. Here is Buchanan. Nice little flick ball on the inside for Johnston, who kind of slipped, but Buchanan gets it back. Battling there with Modiba. And it's going to be a free kick there on the Canadian, or on the South African defender. Given away by Buchanan. Yeah, it is a foul. A little bit close there from Ocon. Mbukazi finds it out to Modiba on the left-hand side. And they get their foot on the ball a little bit here, South Africa. Ocon. Oh, Stakio trying to break that apart, but nicely picked up there on the right by Maseka. Out to the left, looking for Apollos' run, but that's guided out by Alistair Johnston for the throw-in. Yeah, the pressure there from Apollos round the back, and Alistair Johnston forced to head it out for the throw. A bit better there from South Africa. Miller with the press here on Madao. Ocon took a risk there against Jonathan David. Williams with the long clearance. Nice little 1-2 there between the midfielder Mukena and Madao, the right back. Trying to be too cute there though. So Ocon flicks it over the top. The flag stayed down here. The chance in behind for Magopa. It's Mofokeng now. Trying to hold it up. The shot from range is battered down by the Canadian goalkeeper, Crepeau. Now Canada want to spring away. David chasing down the right, but he's out-muscled initially by Modiba, then loses out Modiba. And it's going to be a Canadian throw. Jonathan David fought for that well, but we see this effort again. Really good play. It's Magopa with that run in behind. He played it back again across to Mofokeng, who just laid it off, and I think it's Mukena that has the shot from range, and it's batted away by Crepeau, and then cleared long by Canada, but a bit of danger there from South Africa. Mukena's effort from range. Here's Liam Miller, swung into the box. Headed away by Ocon, picked up by Stakio, who couldn't keep the shot down from range there, off targets. Yeah, it was Mukena with the efforts. Again, it just kind of bounced in front of Crepeau, and he just kind of had to bat it away rather than make the catch on the ball that he probably would have expected to do initially from that sort of position, but just kind of had to flap at it, get away from his goal. That's the key aspect of it. We finally have the stats graphic. I've been trying to get the stats graphic up on the left-hand side for the whole of the first part of the game. Finally we have it. There we go. So we can provide you some live stats as Buchanan breaking in behind. He did get the better of his man initially, but just a bit of a thorn in the side of Buchanan there was Mbukazi. Yeah, another long ball by Canada. It's down to that right channel, and Buchanan just makes it a bit difficult for Mbukazi initially. And as he gets the better of him, tries to cut back, the ball just escapes Buchanan, and Mbukazi does really well to react to block it, shield it out for the goal kick. Initially was caught there, Mbukazi, but really good recovery defending from the South African centre-back. Here he is on the ball, Mbukazi. Modiba. The ball played back to Runway and Williams. 8 minutes on the clock. An aggressive start from both teams. Both teams on the front foot. Of course, when it gets into this knockout type of format, teams can go one of two ways. They can either try and outscore their opponent in a knockout game, or they can try and just sit a little deeper, be a bit more reserved, be a bit more conservative, and then try and hit late. There's a very different approach that can be taken, but both sides have come out with a real aggressive energy to attack. And here's a chance, Larea cross. That one's looped behind and over. I think it took a deflection in the way through off the defender. I think it was Maseko that was actually just tracking his man back in Larea. And he makes the sliding challenge to block the cross from Richie Larea. Yeah, really dangerous play from the wide areas again from Canada. This time it's the fullback that makes the overlap and run. That's a really good bit of defending. Backtracking there was Maseko. Maseko that made the block. As Stakio will take this corner for Canada. First of the game. Swung in by Stakio. Bounces down and away from everybody in all black there. O'Con will get a chance to clear. And just the hold on. I think that was Magopa by Nathan Saliba. Well, here he is, the FIFA president. And I'm not surprised to see him here because this is the only knockout game of the day. In the round of 32. The rest of the games don't get underway till tomorrow. Nice ball down the left by Apollos. Little flick back inside. Really good combination play this. It's Modiba. Just seen off the ball there, Mofokeng. By Buchanan, who was dragged down off the ball. Really fluid play at the moment. It's sloppy given away by Canada, and that ball through from McKenna. Didn't find anybody of his teammates' colours. Canada win it back. Jonathan David measuring one in behind, looking for the run of Liam Miller. Was challenged there, Miller, but the referee said it was a fair one by Maddow. Crunching challenges in this first 10 minutes from South Africa. Not afraid to put in a tackle. As Larea with a little shove in the back there. He wanted the foul. Again, not given. Referee letting the game flow a little bit. Here's Apollos. All the way back to Mbukazi. The referee João Pedro Pinheiro from Portugal. And he refereed a Group B match between Switzerland and Bosnia, where Switzerland won 4-1. That was in their second group game. It's the only game that he's refereed at this World Cup. But a very experienced European referee, João Pedro Pinheiro. Here's Cornelius. Back to Crepo. On to Bombito. Johnston takes a nice first touch around the outside of Apollos. Bricking away here, Alistair Johnston. He's got Buchanan in the wide. Squares it back across, and the heavy touch gets it away from Oluwaseyi. There's going to be a foul there by Larea, but really good football from Canada again. It's the nice break by Alistair Johnston, and the ball's just squared across back to the edge of the box, and it's Oluwaseyi. He's just hanging off the edge of the 18-yard area. It tries to spin his man, and the heavy touch as he turned just allowed South Africa to retrieve. But if he got his touch right there, Oluwaseyi, that could have been a really dangerous moment for Canada in front of goal. Williams, McKenna, Ocon, taking a few extra risks here. McKenna back to Williams, and now out to Mbukazi, taking a few more risks with the short passing, but Mbukazi darts one down the left, nicely taken in by Apollos on the turn. Bit of a heavy touch by Mofokeng, but a little 1-2, and now onto Magopa, picked up now by Mofokeng again. McKenna, Modiba, oh, lovely little chink to get away from his man. Back roll there, and cleared away by Canada. Yeah, some really nice skill in the game. Both teams providing a little bit of good quality in the final third. That's what I mean, a very inspired opening first 13.5 minutes from both teams. That was a little bit loose in the middle. David, Oluwaseyi, in behind it goes. Miller, they're on the move here, Canada. It's Liam Miller. Couldn't cut inside. Really good challenge back there from the number 14, Mbukazi. Really good football again though from Canada. Lovely little give and goes between that front three. Almost not really a front three, more of a front two with an extra winger involved, and it's Liam Miller that's the winger. He's the one that breaks down the side as he goes 1v1 with Mbukazi. Mbukazi was not letting it past him. Corner to Canada. Dangers on the in transition for both teams. Actually, they wanted a corner, but it's actually been given as a goal kick. So, no corner it is then. Long kick by Ronwen Williams. And that header by Magopa is just into the hands of the Canadian goalkeeper, Maxime Crepeau. He's for Orlando. Here is Nathan Saliba. Looking to whip a ball in behind. Nice work from Oluwaseyi. He gets the better of his man. Out to the right, Oluwaseyi feeds it back to Jonathan David, who's a little bit too patient, and Buchanan following up. Seen behind in a really dangerous situation by Sitole. Really good from Oluwaseyi. Really good vision. Finds Jonathan David. He probably thinks he's more time than he does have to get the shot off. In the end, he tries to pass it off. It's well blocked in the end by Sitole, who gets back in. And Buchanan trying to chase it down, and Sitole makes sure it does not go to danger, and he sees it behind for the corner. Canada hotting up in the final third here. Another corner opportunity for the Canadians. Stacchio over it. There's the captain's armband to Stacchio, of course, for this one. Right-footed delivery. Swung in and the shots. That was a really good opportunity. The shot was fed wide by Jonathan David, but see this again. It's a really good delivery by Stacchio. And he just runs off his man, Jonathan David, and if he gets a better connection, that should be 1-0. Completely on his own. It's really good opportunity. He just didn't catch it right, Jonathan David. Of course, the Juventus man. Previous spells at Lille and Ghent, of course, across his career, but after that hat-trick against Qatar in their second group game, which they won 6-0, Canada hasn't scored in either of the other two games. Bouncing ball. Looped into the air. In the end, it will come out for a Canada throw of the last touch off of Paulus. Trying to keep it in play. Jesse Marsh's side. Nice. Sneaky little throw in from Alistair Johnston. We'll get another go at it. This time a bit longer down the line, but met with by Umbukazi. Larea has to shield across. Cornelius brought down now for Liam Miller. Around about the halfway line. Stacchio. Miller just guides it back to Cornelius. And now across to Bombito. Seem to have settled in the game now, Canada. Really good passing opportunities there. Saliba and Jonathan David linking up. Oluwaseyi again gets his body in the way, but backtracking there was McKenna and Maseko to win it off the Canadian players. That's nice reverse ball. A switch attempt here. Left by Modiba. Apollos will take it in. Back to Modiba now. McKenna back to Ocon. He's just going to play it back to Ronwen Williams again. Well, again, it's been a positive start. That's I keep saying, albeit we haven't had the dangerous attempts that you would probably expect from the energy that we've had, but it's a really energetic, upbeat, busy start to the game, high tempo. And if you saw the South African players arriving earlier today, it was like a party atmosphere coming off that team bus for the Bafana. It was an absolute party in the the LA tunnel arriving. You love to see it though. Only at the World Cup would you see something like that. The whole squad of players dancing their way into a stadium. Switch ball there. Just a little heavy, that one. Modiba couldn't keep it in play. I love the energy that some of the teams bring to this. We saw it with Curacao, we saw it with Cape Verde, we saw it with smaller nations. But South Africa have got that such a rich history of kind of having these magical moments in World Cups. And we remember one of the most iconic commentated goals ever is the goal that they scored in the 2010 World Cup where they were the hosts. And it was goosebump worthy. And I think the performance they've had to this point in the World Cup, they've really outdone themselves. Really, really well done from South Africa so far. But, you know, we talk about these teams. Let's not forget, this is the first knockout game for these two teams at a World Cup. So it's not like these two are well versed in these types of situations when it comes to the most difficult moments. Of course, both will know that in their own kind of confederation cups, the likes of a Copa America for Canada or the AFCON for South Africa. They would know that individually what that feels like, but on the world stage at the top level with the best players in the world, it's a different type of dynamic. The World Cup is new and expansive in the new format, but the round of 32 has never existed before, so it's an extra game that you didn't have to deal with previously. And of course we'll have shots of all the stars. Jessica Alba there in the crowd here in LA. Of course, that's one of the benefits of having games in LA. There's no shortage of celebrities to have a look at. If you have a boring game, oh, you'll get lots of shots of the celebrities in the crowd. This has been far from a boring game so far. Almost at the first hydration break, if they dare to take it. And Canada have a free kick here. 21 minutes or so gone. 0-0. Miller and Estacio over this free kick on the left-hand side. We're about 30 yards out. Wide to the left. Miller leaves it. It's Estacio, right-footed. Into the box, over the head of Cornelius, who was perfect there to deftly head it in. It just sailed that much off his head. He just couldn't get the right contact on it. It is a skimmer of all skimmers off the head of Cornelius, and he's in a perfect position as here comes South Africa down the right-hand side. It's Maseko breaking into the area here. Maseko gonna hold off a man. Lays it back for Mukena, who shoots. Charged down again. Estacio puts his body on the line. That's what I mean. Canada have just had a really good goal scoring chance, and right off the back of it, South Africa away on the break. Beautiful football we've seen so far. Just that, and that's the right way. I know there's no right way to play football based on what team you have and the quality of the team. But the spirit of the game, just go all out attack. It's so fun to watch. I mean, I don't think it's fun to watch if you're a fan of either one of those teams involved. But as a neutral, you want both teams going out all out attacking, fighting for what they can get, and playing the right way. And I think that's something that, you know, Jesse Marsch has been criticised before as we hit the hydration break. Jesse Marsch at his time at Leeds was criticised for the way he wanted to play, and they were too open and they were too expansive and they gave away too many chances. But his ideology, his philosophy of football is your best way to defend is to attack. And I think Jurgen Klopp said that one time. The best form of defence is attack. And it's true. If you're at the top end of the pitch trying to score a goal, you're not really worried what's going on behind you. You don't have to worry about defending your own box. It's easier said than done. When you have a better team than your opponent, it's easier to do that. But I think the spirit of the game, I think Jesse Marsch absolutely has that down to a T, and I give him so much respect because what he's done with Canada since he took charge, I mean, it's been a really, really good job. Let's not forget, I mean, that Leeds team that he took charge of, no disrespect, but they were relegation fodder anyway. So trying the experimental kind of technique with them was never going to work. But since he took over here, I mean, just over 2 years ago, he became the head coach of Canada in 2024. Jesse Marsch, he's won 16 of his 35 games in charge, including 3 of those games have been at this World Cup. I mean, I mean, they did really well in the AFCON, the Copa America a few years ago, Canada as well, and I think he's done a really good job with them, and they've been building to this. He's been the right man in charge for them. Yeah, they were knocked out in the Copa America by Uruguay in his first tournament in charge. They dominated that game. And that was, of course, the third place playoff game against them. They lost 2-0 to Argentina in the semi-finals of that Copa America, and what an amazing job it was. I remember watching it. I remember because the Euros were just finished at that time, and I remember thinking, right, Copa America's coming on, let's have a look, let's see what's going on. And Canada just stole that tournament. It's an absolutely incredible tournament from them. Ultimately ended up in fourth place finish, but I mean, what they did with the Gold Cup as well. Just a lot of admiration for Jesse Marsh and the job that he's done as Canada head coach. Well, there's somebody painted themselves in the South African flag. I love it. I mean, I don't know how you can't love that. The most bizarrest of things you'll ever see at a football match. Someone has painted themselves, their whole body and their face, from the waist up, shall we say, their whole waist up in their country's flag. So unique. I mean, imagine getting up early to do that, because that would have taken hours. Surely. Incredible though. We're back underway then, here in SoFi Stadium in LA. It's South Africa 0, Canada 0. Of course, this stadium will host the US's biggest sports entertainment match. The end of the NFL season, it will be a Super Bowl played in this stadium in 2027 on Valentine's Day, no less. A stadium befitting of a Super Bowl. Actually, the Rams, who are one of the teams that play at this stadium, actually won the Super Bowl in their home stadium back in 2022. Certainly on my bucket list, this stadium, SoFi, to be there one day, to go to watch a match, either any sport really in it, but of course American football would be the dream. The US have already played 2 games here at SoFi Stadium. Because they're actually, at this moment in time, in their final 3 games of the tournament. This stadium, they will host Spain, Austria in a few days, and then they will host a quarter-final, and that will be SoFi Stadium for this tournament. As I said, the USA have won and lost here in LA in their 2 games. The opening game win over Paraguay and the late defeat to Turkey in the group as well. Both came here in LA for the US. Mofokeng trying to find Magopa in behind, just overhit the ball completely, misguided. Alistair Johnston goes long, looking for the header of Jonathan David. That's beaten away by the defence. Stakio breaking in by Salibu, miscontrolled his ball, and it's dropped here for Mofokeng. Naya Polis. Many options there as sea of Canadians in front of him. Mbukazi, Ocon to Madao. Ocon again. Now across to Mbukazi. Well, of course, what's South Africa's opener? And I think I watched their second game as well. I did, against Czechia. I did 2 South Africa games in this tournament, and 2 very different results, but very weird performances. I think the opening night, it was all about Mexico, the co-hosts, and all that pressure came on them, and it was a mad opening game. But I think in the Czechia match, I was actually a bit disappointed with South Africa, because you could see they had more quality, but they just didn't show it. They didn't provide it. They didn't offer it up. And they allowed Czechia in that one to take the lead, to be in front. Albeit they got the lead equaliser from the penalty. But I think when you look at that game, and it could have been so much more for South Africa in terms of what we saw from them. Obviously, in the end, they still qualified. But if they had went out, they would have looked back on that game and thought, yeah, we could have won that game. Because Czechia were nowhere near the level in any of their group games. Switch ball in there. Too close to Crepo in the Canadian goal. It was McKenna with the delivery, looking for Magopa. But I think South Africa are a team that you can see have major quality. But it's just about showing it and offering it up in the game. Here's Liam Miller trying to get past Madau, who stayed with him well there. The South African right back. Kaliso Madau plays for Mamelodi Sundowns, as do a lot of this South African team, which is another reason why you would actually expect them to be a bit more cohesive, a little bit more kind of a tougher team to face, South Africa, in that a lot of these players know each other at club level, so you would expect that to go much in their favour. Jonathan David out here on the right hand side for Canada. Johnston, Stacchio. Back to Bombito. Bombito trying to direct it into Oluwaseyi's path. Saliba trying to get his foot in. Bombito with the header. Buchanan up for it. Oluwaseyi battling, but cleared away by Modiba. Well, so far it's been South Africa who've dominated the possession, 64% of the ball to 36% in Canada possession. Canada have had more shots and the higher XG so far, making the more dangerous of the teams, Canada, but South Africa have had the majority of the possession, which is a little bit unexpected, really. Cannon. Jonathan David plays a nice ball. Held up by Oluwaseyi as Saliba tried to spin it out to the left. Just undercooked the pass towards Liam Miller. And Madau could cut that one out well. Here's Ocon. Direct into midfield. Flick on header. Followed up by Magopa. Bouncing down. Stacchio puts his body on the line, as does Jonathan David there. Here is Liam Miller. Very fluid play. Cornelius. Bombito. Canada with the better of the possession here. Buchanan does well in the 1v1 against Modiba. Now away is Johnston. He was well challenged by Apollos, who was man tracking there. That's going to be a goal kick. Nicely done by Apollos there. We've seen that with both of the wingers of South Africa so far. We saw it with Maseko a little earlier on, defending Larea when he got towards the box. And similar with Apollos, dropping back with Alistair Johnston. So just tracking their man backwards towards their own goal. And Oswin Apollos there doing the hard yards for his team. Ball by Mbukazi, switched out to the right. Header by Maseko, didn't quite find Magopa. As Canada pick it up with Buchanan. Now Saliba, overcooked it to Buchanan, who'd gone central. Lots of pressure there on McKenna, wasn't given a chance to try and play it forward. Really good press by Buchanan there off the right hand side. Well, 34 minutes gone. South Africa 0, Canada 0. Oh, that was a poor ball. Cheaply given away. Here is Saliba. Squares it back. Miller. Now to Oluwaseyi, who will go for goal from a narrower angle. easy catch in the end for Ronwen Williams in the South African goal, but it was all of their own doing there, South Africa, that put them under pressure. It's McKenna trying to force it through the middle to find Mofokeng. Saliba, like a bloodhound, snatching at it, but here's Maseko on the outside for South Africa. Larea tracking, helped out by Cornelius, forcing him away from the box. Miller tracking back. That's seen behind for the corner. But that's what I mean. Another chance where Canada have an opportunity, and once we come back from the replay, South Africa are charging away. Really good in the end from Maseko. Wins the corner out of this situation. Needed 3 men to stop him. As we see the Canada chance again for Oluwaseyi. From that narrow angle, it will be tough to beat past Ronwen Williams. That was borne out in the ultimate shot and save. Corner then to South Africa, their first of the game. Swung into the area, headed round the back post, and it's not going to be able to be kept in play. Goal kick. One of the most dangerous of set pieces we've seen in this tournament by any stretch. The last 10 minutes of the first half, obviously both sides will want to be more threatening and much more accurate when they get into the final third. Both sides haven't been able to make the most of their dangerous moments so far, but there's something brewing in both teams. Estacchio, Jonathan David. Shea lost out in his battle. That's probably the first time that's happened in the game. Shea's been strong in his 1v1s. He lost that one. McKenna trying to direct it again. Gets a little bit telegraphed, that pass. Jonathan David tried to cut it out. They do win it back quickly, South Africa. It's kind of where Canada can be a bit dangerous. Expected them to have more of the ball, but it's gone the opposite way. As here's a chance in behind. It's Apollos making the run. Trying to get past Bombito, and initially it looked like he had got past Bombito there, Apollos, but the Canadian centre-back, I have to say, a big lump of a man. He did really well there in the 1v1 tackle. A really good sliding challenge. It's been given as a goal kick. Last touch came off Apollos there. VAR overturned that decision. Foul there on Richie Larea by Maseko. Of course, he is of these islands, Jesse Marsh. American born. Seems to be the adopted Canadian at this stage. Ooh, a little bit dangerous there from Crepo. We got it away to Cornelius, but was under pressure from Magopa. Saliba. Nice ball on to Larea, who's gone a bit inverted. Out wide to Miller. Larea making the underlap and run. Miller trying to go a 1v1 battle, has to use Saliba for support. The ball bouncing forward, took a deflection from Saliba's pass, but Ocon there, a little bit dangerous, so, and cleaned away by Ronwen Williams. David loses out. It's a poor touch though from Mukena. Little flick by Oluwaseyi. Buchanan. Oluwaseyi was again crowded out in the central area. That seems to be where Canada are losing the ball, through the middle. Here is Modiba. Bricking down the left here for South Africa. He tried the back heel. Straight into the feet of Buchanan on the cover. And that's going to be a foul for a shove in the back of Saliba by Sitole. It's all happening. Yeah, Sitole just a little bit too aggressive there on Modiba. Or, not Modiba, Saliba. Well, so fellow Sitole, who committed that foul, has already been shown a red card in this tournament. Given a red card in that opening group game. He missed the second game. in return for the third group game against South Korea. Of course, only got a 1-match ban because of the nature of the red card. It wasn't violent conduct or anything of the sort to allow for 3 red match ban. Free kick here for Canada then. It is Crepeau, Maxime Crepeau, who's over it. Long launch forward. Comes off the back of Jonathan David. Now Buchanan. Back here to Bombito. Trying to be too cute there. Almost caught in possession as he did find it to Alistair Johnston. Oliver Shea. One tussle, and he's been given the foul there, Oliver Shea. Mbukazi with the challenge. See it again here. I think he got the ball there, Mbukazi. I think from the assistant side of things, he's saying that he caught the man, which he did, but went to the ball first, and it's kind of an unfortunate follow-through. Free kick, though, for Canada. Another dangerous set-piece opportunity for the Canadians. Stachio's deliveries have been decent. The best one, obviously, the one that just came off the head of Cornelius, who was free in the box earlier. This one a lot closer, and on the right-hand side this time from Canada's point of view. The referee sorts out the physical tussling in the box. Whistle goes, Stachio will deliver. Stachio clips it in with the right foot, headed on, and not much pace on that one, more of a looping header this time. That was from Richie Larea. Nothing really in that. Applause though from Jesse Marsh, who appreciates his side's attempts. So far, not much cutthroat action from either team. Still a very long way to go though in this game. Bronwyn Williams taking his time to get the game back underway, which, based on a very light crowd, is not a popular one from the South African keeper. A big cluster of players there colliding around the edge of the Canadian box. All are okay. Oliver Shea, nice turn to find a Stachio. Larea will leave it wide to Miller. Miller, Nseko for company. That's the retreat back. Oh, Miller though uses his man in Saliba, then spins away from his marker. The ball will drop back here to Alistair Johnston. It's very central. Miller flicks it round. Johnston's made the run of the box, clips it across, and it's hooked away by Okon from Oliver Shea, who was in the middle. Really dangerous from Alistair Johnston, and an unusual position for him. The right full back playing as almost as a left winger. Using that free roll to perfection there, Alistair Johnston. Beautiful, and as he clips it back, it's actually Mbukazi with the clearance. In the end, they will get a corner out of this, Canada. Seem to be the more dangerous of the two. I've said that right the way throughout the half. Canada have been certainly the team with a little bit more cutting edge in the final third, a little bit extra danger, but as I said, neither have been cutthroat so far. Stachio with the corner. Right-footed. Into the mix, headed down, off the line, not away yet, off the line again with a save from Williams. Two massive moments on the South African goal line, denies Canada the opener. Wow. Bronwyn Williams. See this again, beautiful delivery by Stachio. It's a header from Bombito that's cleared off the line. Then it bounces down. Oliver Shea gets it back into the mix. I think is it Cornelius that gets the second one. And as he stretches forward on the second, Cornelius, then it falls to Buchanan, and Williams makes the save from the Buchanan effort as well. I mean, really top quality. Off the line by Modiba initially. And Oluwaseyi guides it back across. Cornelius miscues. Buchanan has the effort, and that's saved by Ronwen Williams. Two massive moments. Off the line by Modiba, and Williams with the goal line save. Two massive stops to deny Canada the opening goal here right on half-time. But that will give them so much confidence. And now they're away again. Down the left, here comes Liam Miller. Cuts back onto his right. Rolls it in behind. Larrea's made the run. He was caught. And it is a goal kick. The Portuguese referee causes the Canadian players to have their hands on their head in disbelief. Richie Larrea is down. To me, it looked like a penalty. Didn't have a clear view of it, but it looked to me the way Richie Larrea was caught, it looked like a penalty. VAR will have a look, but let's see it again. No. On review, I think the referee's got that absolutely correct. I think Richie Larrea leaves his leg out to be caught. I don't think that's a foul. I think Madao has done really well there. He gets to the ball first. He makes sure the ball is out of the reach of Larrea. And I think Larrea's stray leg is just hooked in between the legs of Madao by Larrea. He makes that action. Therefore, I think he incites the action, is what the call is. But I don't think that that's a penalty. Initially I did, but after review and seeing the replay, I don't think it is. And I think VAR have agreed with the on-field decision, which after having a look at it from my point of view in the replay, I think the referee's got it spot on. Absolutely spot on. Really good officiating by the Portuguese referee. Saliba lifting one over the top, looking for the run of Buchanan. Guided back by Mbukazi to his goalkeeper. Just calm as anyone in there. Well, don't know how long's added on at the end of the first half, but we're into the 3rd minute of added time of this first period. So, 3rd of 3 minutes just being confirmed. So 3 added minutes is the tally. So we're into the last minute of this first half, and what is a busy first half between these two. Canada with definitely the best goalmouth action. Nothing's gone into the goalmouth just yet. They're starving the goal. Oluwaseyi trying to dribble his way through. He run into the tackle of Sutole. Sir Johnson with a little flick with the head. They're catching themselves into trouble there again, but they get away with it this time. Madao was fouled, so that's going to be a free kick to South Africa. Won't appease Canada because they wanted a foul for the penalty, but no chance was that a penalty after review. Correct call from the referee in my opinion. We'll talk about it at half-time. We'll also talk about what's to come in the round of 32 and what we can expect. As there is the half-time whistle. A first 45 of the knockout stages of this World Cup. Jesse Marsh will protest that he should have had a penalty. His team should have had a penalty kick. Bombito is getting in the way of his head coach and telling him to calm down, which is actually really experienced of the player, I have to say. That's never seen that from a player. Stop his own manager from going across. Usually they back them up. Anyway, half-time in South Africa 0, Canada 0.
'cause all that I do was easy to use. So call my time, but you weren't really mine, just something to do. Thought I never knew. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even burning? Do you even leave now, make your escape. You know the fortune favors the brave. So close, just get away. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even do you even I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even do you even I've been holding on so tight, 'cause all that I do was easy to use. So call my time, but you weren't really mine, just something to do. Thought I never knew. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless,
Welcome back to World Cup 2026 live here in LFS. Half-time in our first of the 16 round of 32 games. It is South Africa 0, Canada 0 at the break in LA. But Canada will be wondering at half-time how they are not in front with the chances they've created in this first half. But they aren't, and credit to South Africa in the way they've defended in that first half, that they have held them in that first half. And I think they'll be a little bit disappointed, South Africa, because yes, they'll be happier with the half-time scoreline, because they haven't really done much threatening in the final third. They've looked dangerous in little spells, little glimmers, but you wouldn't say they've created a really good goal-scoring chance. I think their only shot on target has come from that McKenna effort from Reigns that was batted away by Cripple really early in the game, but they haven't really created much danger for Canada to be too worried about. And I think Canada, since the early moments, have taken real grip and real control of the game. With less possession, shall we say, they've had less of the ball, but they've had 7 shots, 4 of them on target, an XG of 0.94 Canada in that first half. 17 touches in the opposition box, 3 big chances. They have been so strong in those attacking areas, Canada. Compare that to South Africa, who've had, yes, more possession, but they've only had 3 shots. They've only had 1 of those on target, only 5 touches in the opposition box, and with an XG of 0.06. So they're not creating too much, South Africa, but when they have they're having more of the ball, but they're not being aggressive enough with it, or they're not finding the right targets, or it's not working at the moment, or basically Canada have just defended them well. It could be one of any of those moments, but on the contrary, Canada looked the more dangerous, they looked the more excited, they looked the more energetic at the moment when they get into the final third. I think Buchanan and Miller on both sides look really dangerous, and then they work it in with the fullbacks of Larea and Alistair Johnston, and in that front too of Oluwaseyi and Jonathan David look really strong up there, interchanging with each other. And then you look at that midfield, Saliba and Estacio underpinning that midfield, looking really dangerous in moments themselves, and then it's just working for Canada right now. And I think the way they're playing, it looks so well balanced, so well organised, and just so rhythmical between the players, and it's been enjoyable to watch, I have to say. And as I said, Jesse Marsh will be wondering how they didn't score from the chances they created. They also had a penalty incident. Now, after looking at it a few times, I don't think it's a penalty. I think Richie Larea locks his leg in with the defender in Madao. There's nothing Madao can do about it. He gets a touch to the ball. He clears the danger away with the ball. That's the first protocol. He does make contact with Richie Larea, but Larea, I think, initiates that contact by locking his leg in between the legs of the defender. Therefore, it's not a penalty. That was a decision made on the field by the referee, so credit to the referee for spotting it in time, because it's a really complicated situation. Credit to the referee, and for VAR for not recommending an on-field review, because there was no error there. It's the correct decision of no penalty. Let us know what you think in the chat. We'll put a poll in the chat in a moment whether you thought it was a penalty or not. I didn't think so personally, but we will debate it together. It is only half-time in this game, and of course this is our first of the 16 ties that will take place across the round of 32, all the way till July the 4th, when America turns 250 years old. And they won't actually play on July the 4th, because they play in midweek, of course, this week. They play on Thursday, which is the 2nd, and then their next game, the USA, won't be until the following Tuesday, the following Monday evening. So they will not play over their anniversary, but that is when the round of 16 gets underway. So we have this action all the way through this week. 16 ties over the next 7 days. We cannot wait to bring you right the way through it. So looking forward to it. And we have a double header for you tomorrow. And we start with this huge game in Houston. This is one of the ties of the round of 32 for me. It is set up to be a cracker. Brazil-Japan. Brazil with the immense quality that we've seen of them so far, and the Japan side have been a little bit of a surprise package so far in the tournament. Really enjoyed watching them with their dangerous players. That's tomorrow, 6 o'clock, early evening. Sit down after you've had your dinner, you sit and watch your dessert, or eat your dessert while watching this one. Brazil, Japan, so looking forward to that one. That's tomorrow, and that's only one of 2 games that we have for you tomorrow night, because that is followed up by Germany against Paraguay at 9:30 tomorrow evening. What's not to love? A doubleheader for you tomorrow. But the second half between South Africa and Canada, it's goalless at the break in our round of 32 opener. Second half's on the way next. Well, welcome back to World Cup 2026. Second half on the way between South Africa and Canada. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on push notifications as well. We did a live group stage review. If you haven't seen that, go and watch that. I talk about my biggest disappointments, who I think my potential winners are. I recap the whole of the group stages, some of the highlight stories, and also look ahead to the round of 32 fixtures as well. So looking forward to all of what's to come. We did a review show earlier on, so if you want to go and watch that, you can. That's on the channel now, and we'll be putting out some clips of that over the next few hours on socials as well. If you haven't followed us on socials, all the links you need to follow us on social media on X, Instagram and TikTok, all in the links in the description of this live stream. So do follow us on there. We're trying to build our social reach, and TikTok is certainly one of the places we will do that. So we will try to do that, shall I say. So it will be greatly appreciated if you could show your support to us over on those sites, apps, whatever you want to call them. So do follow us there on socials. Right, they're going to make a change at half-time, by the way, here at South Africa. I think Mbata is going to be coming on. Thalente Mbata. So, half-time sub incoming, I believe, for South Africa. I'm going to put a poll in the chat about that penalty, because it is hotly debated. It's been hotly debated on socials, but I don't think it's a penalty, in my opinion. Well, that change has been made. The second half is about to get underway. The countdown is on. And we are off and running for the second half then of this one. And we will put that poll in the chat. Polls in the chat now. Whether you thought it was a penalty to Canada or not, let us know in the chats. I didn't. Just to put my opinion out there, to make that very clear, I didn't think it was a penalty to Canada. Right, we're back underway. Busy second half, I'm sure, to come. Lots of goal-mouth action, lots of goals, lots of drama. Looking forward to it. Let's see. Saliba. Of course, Canada looking to build upon what they'd started to build in that first half. Real head of steam they were getting towards the end of the half as Alistair Johnston darting down the right here. Does keep it in play according to the officials. Miller goes a swiped effort. Well off target. I think he put the flag up in the end there, the assistant. Let's see it again. Did it cross the byline? It did. Looked to me like it did from that replay. Wouldn't have counted anyway, but Liam Miller's effort was well off targets. I have to say, Bombito was kind of the apparent, in a way, took on a parent role for Jesse Marsh in that at the end of the first half. He was ready to go towards the referee to have a good, decent argument with the referee, Jesse Marsh, and his centre-back decided to get in the way and said, no, not a chance, you're not doing that. Dow with the throw down the line, cleared away by Cornelius. Stacchio helped out by Saliba. Miller with a bit of head tennis here from Canada. It's finally taken in by Mbata, the half-time substitute, who comes into the side for Mofokeng. Mofokeng, who was taken off at half-time for South Africa. Mbata, Madiba, Sitole, Madao. Oh, heavy ball there back in from Maseko. Miller takes it in now down the left for Canada. Stacchio onto Saliba. Into the path of Buchanan, just come off the toe of Buchanan as the crowd out try and win the ball back there, Canada, but ultimately the foul is given. It was just off the leg, off the toe of Tejon Buchanan there, that initial moment. As we see the Mexican wave. It's made an appearance in quite a lot of the games, but one thing that didn't is a woman lost her phone there. That's certainly not what you want to be doing. How unfortunate. And the stadium that this is, at SoFi Stadium, it is not the easiest to retrieve something like that if it just falls from the stands, because it's a massive dip. It's a good couple of feet of a dip. Now, when you do lose items, so I don't think she'll be getting her phone back too quickly. Challenge there by Saliba. And a spin on it there was Jonathan David to carry it forward, but again Canada unable to keep a hold of the possession. Madao back to Ocon. Decent start to the second half from South Africa. Polis, Modiba, a bit telegraph there from Mbukazi, who wanted the foul. Referee said no, it's just going to be a throw in to Canada, which they try and take quickly, but referee is going to stop it to allow Mbukazi to receive some treatment after he tried to hobble back to his feet there, Mbukazi, so it committed. Actually, it's Mokoena, actually. Wrong number. 14 and 4, easy to get mixed up. Mokoena there was the one challenged. Slight clip by the studs of Buchanan onto the toe of Mokoena there, but he is okay. Canada will get the throw. Alistair Johnston to take. Down the line it goes. Seen out there by Modiba, away from Jonathan David, who was chasing. Another throw in it will be. Alistair Johnston will take another throw here for Canada. He might go long this time, he will. Launched into the area, flicked on by Cornelius as they hook it away, the South African defenders. Guided back to Canadian possession by Saliba. Now Larea down the left to Liam Miller. As that be played back to Larea. Saliba drifting into midfield, right to the left for Johnston. Got a Polis in his way and makes the benefit of that, Alistair Johnston, by winning a throw-in. He's not happy with the initial ball he was given, so he goes for another one. Alistair Johnston, a Celtic fullback. Going to take another long throw here for Canada. Launch into the box, flick on this time by Oluwaseyi, but that one is seen out for a goal kick off the head of the Canadian centre forward. Seka did well to ride the challenges. A flick ball out to the outside. It's Mbata that's made the run, but Larea with the stoppage to deny his man a way through, and the referee gives the free kick, but it's asked for calm from Richie Larea there. Got a little bit worked up. It was a high boot from Mbata that won Richie Larea the free kick rather than anything else. Not had the most energetic start to the half, Canada. That's a little bit sloppy there from Cornelius. Poor ball to Richie Larea. Jesse Marsh asking where his team's energy has gone. Looks like it's been zapped from them from the first half to the second half. We talk about sometimes half-time whistle coming at the wrong time for certain teams, and Canada had all the momentum going into the break. They were the dominant team in the match, but come out a little bit, not shaky, but just a little off that energy that they had in the first half. It's not quite in their rhythm. Saliba played back by Bombito to Crepo. Who's long little flick. A hell of a Shea, and Jonathan David trying to work off the back of that. As that's going to be a foul by Richie Larea on Maseko. Free kick to South Africa. Yeah, it is a foul by Richie Larea. Nice touch inside from Madao. Little flick by Magopa. Madao bypassing Saliba, who was not letting him get any further than he did. And Nathan Saliba is going to get a yellow card. Yeah, really good from Madao. Fabulous bits of skill. Nutmegging Liam Miller like it was nothing, and then tried to do the same thing on Nathan Saliba. And Saliba was taking no prisoners there. And he gets a yellow card for his troubles, the Canadian midfielder. Madao being the hold-up man on the right-hand side. Played into Mokena. Madao back to Ocon. Mbukazi. Modiba. He will play it back to Williams in the South African goal. Either side have had an effort in the second half so far, but similar to the start of the first half where South Africa had the majority of possession. They had almost 70% of the ball at points in the first half. They've got around about 2/3 in this second period, so they're dominating the control of the ball again. Says, can they be more dangerous with the play? Well, that's lovely play, that. Really good hold up as Modiba switches it out to the right. It's Maseko. Got Miller for company. Maseko rides that challenge. It's Magopa. Carried it a little wide. Madao will keep it in play. Mbata. On the way back to Mbukazi. Out to the left-hand side. Modiba with the cross, and that one's too close to Maxime Crepeau in the Canadian goal, but more danger there from South Africa. Better movement between the lines. First time really throughout the game we've seen that from their own possession rather than on the counter-attack. That's what they struggled to do in the first half. When they did have a lot of the ball, it was either giving the ball away cheaply when they did get forward or open themselves up to counter-attacking situations. And it clicks. It looks fabulous. Stacchio gets his body in the way there to try and win that back for Canada. They will win the free kick, but Stacchio stayed down for the moment. Stefan Stacchio, the Canadian captain for the moment, as the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, watches on. As there's been some question marks over whether he's a wizard. Gianni Infantino over the last few days has been seen as many games as anyone really at this World Cup. He's been flying here, there and everywhere. Try and make sure he doesn't miss a single bit of the action. So far, This has been an enjoyable one, but Estacio made a tougher stuff than what happened to him there. He's going to be checked up on, though. So here's the Mexican wave again. Beautiful. Gotta love it, though. The energy is... There's no shortage of energy in the crowd, let me tell you that. Look at that. I mean, they're continuing this Mexican wave. It's not stopping anytime soon. I've got to see a double change here for Canada. Nathan Saliba and Bombito are going to be coming off. And we're going to see Luc de Fougerolles, who actually was replaced by Bombito at centre-back to start the game. So that's going to be back to natural order there at the centre-back position. And we're also going to see the introduction of Nico Sigur, the Hajduk split midfielder. He's come on to replace Nathan Saliba in midfield. Of course, Saliba took that position after Ismail Kone's broken ankle in the Qatar game. Saliba, who just received the yellow card in the last few minutes, has been replaced by Sigur in midfield. Crepeau to the left-hand side, bouncing down. Either side to get on the end of as Maseko was dispossessed by Oluwaseyi. Larea finding de Fougerolles and Cornelius. Guide one into the middle. Nice play. Finding Oluwaseyi. Now Jonathan David trying to work it back to his centre forward partner. Estacio, though, feeds it out to the left. Miller trying to whip it across. Well defended there by Ocon. Nicely one back though by Cornelius, but the referee's going to say that I don't know if has he given a foul. I think he has. It is a foul. Cornelius there. It's a little bit too overzealous with his challenge. So he hit the hour mark inside SoFi Stadium here in Inglewood, California. The home of Hollywood. And so far it's not been quite the blockbuster that was built in the hype for this game, but with 30 minutes to go, if there's no winner, it's extra time and penalties that could be on the cards for one of these two. Remember, these two have never ever played a World Cup knockout game, so this is their debut on this sort of situation, on this occasion, on this stage. Neither want to give it up too easily. Here's Liam Miller battling with Maseko. Real good tussle that has been right the way throughout the game. Jesse Marsh asking his team to play a little bit more. It's been a little bit impatient, Canada, with their possession. And the manager not too pleased with that. That's nice work from Mokoena. Good challenge by his opposite number there, Luc de Fougerolles, just on the field. Good sliding challenge by de Fougerolles. Williams. He's trying to zap the energy out of the game, taking his time, which is now a popular decision with the crowd. To appease the crowd with that time-wasting attempt. From Williams. Satole. Nice switch ball out to the right. Madao lays it off first time to Mbata. Ping it out to the left. It will drop here. An opportunity for a shot for Apollos. Just set wide. Veered away from goal that. Yeah, really good. Actually comes off de Fougerolles that kind of deflects it into the path of Apollos. Takes it past Estacio onto his right foot. Sorry, it's Buchanan actually, not Estacio. Onto his right foot, and Apollos striking from range, but it just veers away from goal at the last seconds. Certainly, if Canada had the best of the first half, it's South Africa have had the better of the second so far. Hugo Broos's side have looked stronger in the second half, have looked more comfortable in possession and looked more dangerous in possession. The current oldest head coach at the tournament, 74-year-old Hugo Broos from Belgium. Estacio to Jonathan David, but this is a Canadian side that is filled with attacking quality as Johnston tried to measure one for Buchanan. Mbakazi across to defend, and that's going to be a throw-in to Canada after Mbakazi was done in there by Buchanan, who faked his sliding challenge. I don't think he faked it, I think he just missed it, and it turned out to be a bit of a lucky break for Tajon Buchanan on that right-hand side. Another long throw from Alistair Johnston. Launched towards the area again, headed away cleanly. Bounces to the edge of the box to Fougerolles. Lifted back in by Larea, but that one nowhere near any sort of threatening player in the mix for Canada. Easily into the hands of the South African keeper. Lovely little bit of distribution there as McKenna guides that out for the throw on the right hand side off Richie Larea. And there's a man who maybe might be needed here for Canada late in this game, Alfonso Davies. Well, there's a chance though in behind Sigor, and now Oluwaseyi's away. Oluwaseyi trying to poke it back round for Jonathan David. What an acrobatic bit of defending that was. Mbakazi, when it looked like it was Jonathan David's to finish, that from a bit of acrobatics from Mbakazi. Sigor here with the pace to break forward. Really good ball weighted in behind to a perfect position for Oluwaseyi, who tries to poke it past Williams. It bounces off Williams into the path of Jonathan David, who's following in. As we see it here again, following in, and Mbakazi. That is sensational defending. Absolutely incredible. The many goal-saving moments they've had in this game, South Africa. And that's another one, probably the best one of the lot. An empty net, gaping for Jonathan David, and a bit of acrobatic defending from Mbakazi to clear it up behind for the corner. Estacio to deliver. Off the head of Fougerolles, who headed it well wide of goal. See this again, really good run from Sigor. Great pass, Oluwaseyi with the run and the attempt, and then this from Mbakazi. I mean, it was waiting for Jonathan David just to slot it in at the back post. I think we all were. I think it was what everybody was expecting. But Mbakazi wasn't, and Mbakazi, as an individual, only 20 years old. Mbekazeli Mbakazi. He has played his heart out in this game, and he's been absolutely incredible. The Chicago Fire player. He's in the MLS. Here is Buchanan. Early cross, looking for David in the middle again. Cleared away. Back to Buchanan. Sigurd gets a little bit caught on the ball, and he's going to drag his man back there. It's going to be a foul. McKenna with the one that was fouled there, and Sigurd with the foul to give it away. Well, this is going to be a hydration break, which again isn't received by the crowd pretty well. And let's just remind you of what's to come tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Brazil against Japan tomorrow at 6 from Houston. Certainly looking forward to that one. That's followed by, of course, Germany's game in their group match against their round of 32 game against Paraguay. Then on Tuesday we'll have Cote d'Ivoire, Norway, followed by France, Sweden on Tuesday nights. Then on Wednesday, we'll have another doubleheader as we watch England take on DR Congo, followed by Belgium against Senegal. And then on Thursday evening, we will have Spain, Austria. And then we will conclude the knockout stages, or the round of 32 games, with Australia, Egypt, followed by Argentina, Cape Verde on Friday night. So looking forward to every single one of the games that we will cover right the way throughout the tournament. And with the round of 32, there is no getting away from the fact that this is another spectacle to look forward to. And it's even more important than it was before because it's the knockout stages. And how many chances have Canada had in this game? How many goal-saving moments have the South African defenders made? And Mbokazi in particular has been absolutely unbeatable, unstoppable at times. Incredible defending. I mean, it's absolutely sensational defending. It's unbelievable. Jesse Marsh cannot believe it. I mean, it's... the quality there was fabulous. That's the thing. People will think, oh, this game's been dull. It's 0-0 after nearly 70 minutes. But it's not that it's been dull. Both teams have shown the right energy, the right endeavour, the right idea. It's just not come off for either of the two teams yet, and that's where I think it's come down to. It remains 0-0. Neither side have had that moment of magic or that mistake, and they're so well matched that that's what it might have to come down to make the difference. But Canada have looked the more dangerous right the way throughout the night, and they'll be disappointed if they don't score in 90 minutes, because then that leaves them open to possibly losing the game late, which could be even more of a concern. But I think right now their focus will be trying to find that opening goal. And they're going to make some more changes here, Canada. I'm going to see Schaffelborg come on here for Liam Miller. So Jacob Schaffelborg is on for Liam Miller. Oliver Shea, I think, has also been taken off. He has. And on for him is Promise David. So Promise David and Jacob Schaffelborg on. And they've replaced Liam Miller and Tani Oliver Shea. By the way, that quick update on the poll in the chat, whether it was a penalty to Canada in the first half or not, 75% agreeing with me that it is not a penalty. Thank you very much for getting involved in the poll. And also, now I want you to tell me who goes through. Opportunity here for Canada in behind. Not quite working out on the end of that one. And there is the next poll in the chat. So, who do you think goes through? In whatever way, whether it's extra time, penalties, or 90 minutes, who goes through in this game? Who will go into the the round of 16? Let us know. Put your vote in the poll. We'll see who wins. Whether the chat ends up being right by the end of this one. Throw in here for South Africa down the right hand side. It's Madao who's going to take the throw in. Nice there from Mbata on the turn, trying to look for Magopa in behind. Cornelius with the header, taken in by Estacchio. Larea. Going to hold on to the ball in the end. Seen out for a throw in there. Yeah, South Africa have been much more physical, much more right on Canada. Their press has been a lot better in this second half. There's Buchanan there battling. I think it's Alistair Johnson that gives away the foul in the end. Sigor there. He was given a yellow card a little earlier as well. Also involved in that moment. You need to be careful in case he gets in the mix of all of that. Mbukazi. Williams. Again taking his time, which is met by rousing boos and groans from the crowd of majorly Canadian support inside SoFi Stadium. Mbata. Back to Romba and Williams. I don't know if they're doing this as a joke to try and keep the crowd going, but they keep passing it back to their keeper there, South Africa. Mbata lifting it over the top. Nicely taken in by Apollos there. Sitole out to the left, swung in by Modiba, headed back across, clipped by Maseko, carried himself out of the box, and the shot from range is scooped over the crossbar. Yeah, really good play again by South Africa. Wait for the press and then try and break off the back of it. Really nice play. The cross wasn't the best from Modiba, but Madau to head it back into the play was incredible. Taken in by Maseko, and then the shot from range is nowhere near dangerous enough as Tejon Buchanan is off, and the welcome introduction for Alphonso Davies. He will be the final substitute of 90 minutes for Canada, and a roar around the stadium as their captain is on. And can he carry them to victory in the knockout stages? The first man ever to score for Canada in a World Cup in 2022 was Alphonso Davies. That was their only World Cup goal of their own accord, shall we say, because the other one was a goal kick before this tournament. Missed every single group game. And now he's on to play at least 15 minutes or more in this game to try and incite and engineer a win for Canada in this round of 32 fixture. What can he offer? We know what he can offer. How will he offer it? Well, here is Alphonso Davies. Early cross, nicely held up. The shot from range is zipped wide from promise, David. Well, look at that. The first involvement of Alphonso Davies just cuts the defence of South Africa apart. Played back by Jonathan David, set up for promise David, who's trying to arrow it into that bottom left corner, and it just kind of catches the back of his foot, so it just spins away from where he wanted it to go. Not the cleanest of connections, but dangerous nonetheless. And that's an instant involvement for Alphonso Davies of a dangerous concern. If there is a question as to who South Africa need to be very alert and aware of, there's another example. It's Alphonso Davies. Williams. Ocon. Mbata. Nicely cut out by Richie Larea. Davies now spinning and twisting. Beautiful play. Alistair Johnston gets the ball back, and now Defougerol. Not only with the fact of his own impact changed the game in a sense, with his own play, Alphonso Davies, but he will lift his teammates. He will lift the performance of his teammates, and that's what a leader, one of the singular best players in terms of individual quality in a team does. Some of them raise the level of their teammates, and I think that's what he does with this team, Alphonso Davies. He makes his teammates look better as well. They all play better when he's on the field. There's no guessing as to why, obviously. And here he is, Alphonso Davies, down the lefts. Eustachio. Back to Davies. On the inside, plays it into Jonathan David, snatching it at the the near post, cleared away by Williams. Back to Davies again. As he wins the throw in there off Satole. How quickly this game has changed in the favour of Canada since the introduction of Alphonso Davies just a matter of minutes ago. Davies couldn't squeeze that one through. Blocked by Maddow. He just throws it over the top. That one is hooked away by Ocon. Maddow there felt he was fouled. The referee says no. Just a throw into Canada. Alphonso Davies gets the play back underway. Cornelius. Sigur. Cornelius. Eustachio. Cornelius is tiptoeing into South Africa's half. Plays it out to Eustachio on the left. He's just going to feed it back to Maxime Crepeau. Gets rid of it quickly. Diffuse roll. Cornelius now finding Alphonso Davies down the left channel. Little 1-2 with Eustachio. Just being patient with the play now, Canada. Crepeau goes long. Looking to find Davies. That was well cut out by Maddow, but bouncing ball will find a Canadian throw. Jesse Marsh asking for some movement of his players there. Sigur. David. Sigur. Back to diffuse roll. Just around 10 minutes of normal time to go. Diffuse roll. Down the left to Davies. Given the time and space. This time he couldn't find a way past Maddow. Back to Ocon, who clears, but only as far as Sigur. He couldn't make the simple pass through the middle. Drops to Cornelius. Davies. Eustachio. Eustachio. A little bit forceful there with that pass, and then they followed up by a poor bit of play there from Mbata. That's going to be a quick throw in for Canada. They're definitely controlling things now, Canada. It's all Canadian pressure, it's all Canadian possession, but South Africa responded to that by dropping off a little bit, dropping into shape, just winning their 1v1s and not really be too expansive. As Alistair Johnston on the underlap here whips in an early cross. It's dangerous, but it's cleaned away by Maddow. Sigur tries to win it back. Diffuse roll on the press, as is Schaffelberg. Schaffelberg there going to be penalised for a little push on Modiba. Going to be a foul. A free kick to South Africa. As it stands, it might be needed in time for some more minutes in this game. Remember, if this game ends level, it will be extra time and penalties to decide the winner. It's a launch ball in behind. Here's Promise David. Holding it up, looking for the switch round the corner, but Jonathan David couldn't quite get on the end of it. He's far ahead of his teammate there. Williams just passing it out. Stacchio just evading the pressure there nicely, held up by Promise David. Jonathan David trying to eke it in behind first time, but that was well stopped. Mbata here. Well, cut out by Defuzrol as Mbata tried to play it in behind for Magopa. Sigur. And measure one in behind, the run wide. Schaffelborg couldn't find it across to Promise David. Now, South Africa might break away here. Oh, bit of a miscue there. That's picked up by Defuzrol. Estacchio. Now Alfonso Davies. Two men on him now. It's Madao the first, and Madao makes a really good tackle. Good challenge. Yeah, I have to say, all of the back four of South Africa have been absolutely incredible in their 1v1s all the way throughout this game. Sensational individual quality and individual play from South Africa defensively. As a collective, they've been quite strong as well, but even at that, Canada have definitely created the majority of the chances. South Africa haven't had a shot on target. They've only had one, and that came very early in the game from that effort from Mokena in the 6th minute of the match. So that goes to show that there hasn't been much for Crepo to really face. It's been a lot of Canadian pressure and Canadian play. South Africa have hung on in there to this moment in time. All they need is one moment, though. That is what can change it. Here is Apollos picking up in space. Apollos will hit, and Maxim Crepo forced into action there, made a good save. Yeah, much better from Apollos. Skipped away from Estacchio onto his right foot. And Maxim Crepo forced down to his left to make the save. Schaffelberg, good hold up. Jonathan David, Schaffelberg with a cross. It's a little bit off the target of Promise David, who was the man in the middle. That was nicely guided by Mbata. Out to the right. Madao to break. Skipped away from the challenge of Cornelius. The referee says no foul. As Cornelius caught Madao there, but no foul given. Here's Estacchio breaking away. Davies down the left. Maseko for company. And Ocon stepping into Sitole. Onto Madiba. Measured play from Apollos there. Still got a hold of the ball. Fabulous. He was battling there with Alistair Johnston. Schaffelborg, that's going to be a free kick. Less than 5 minutes of normal time to go, and we are hot-footing it to another 30 on the cards here. They're going to make some more changes here. Moremi and Reyners are going to be coming on for South Africa. Going to see Magopa coming off. So I'd say Reyners would come on for him. Ikram Reyners and Shepang Moremi is also coming on, and he is going to replace Maseko. So Moremi and Reyners on, replacing Magopa and Maseko for South Africa. Apollos now going for the early cross, away by Defuzrol. Apollos picks it back up, but gets in a tussle with Promise David and a bouncing ball that Jonathan David heads on, and Schaffelberg takes in his first stride, but a really good step across there from Mbukazi with the block. Mbata to Madao. Good first touch inside, and he was caught there by Richie Larea. That's going to be a foul. Larea just left the foot in there on Madao. Header away by Defuzrol as South Africa go a bit longer. Switch ball there by Sigur is massively wayward. Schaffelberg was the target. Well wide of his mark. Could go either way this game. That's so intriguing in the final few minutes. Either one of these could score a winner. Really given away in the middle there by Mbata. Now, Stacchio out to Alphonso Davies. A bit of pace in it as he tries to cut it back to the edge. Just enough back there for South Africa to crowd that one out. Game becoming much more end-to-end, a bit more open now as the final minutes emerge. Reyners with his first involvement. Carried to the left. Works it back in field as the ball switched across to Madao from Mbata. Here is Madao. Ocon. Now Mbukaze. Holding it up there was the substitute Reyners, but it's lost. Sigor in the end lost it to his man, and he kept it in play there, Motipa. A bit nonchalantly, but he did keep it in play. Give a little wry smile to the assistant. Mbata. Back to Ocon. Now Madao. Down the right is Apollos. Tries to take the touch inside. Gets the better of Larea and Estacchio. And Apollos has played it through here, but a danger as Reyners was on the end of it. Just about stolen away by the Fougerolles, who could half clear. And they're going to get the foul. Foul on Cornelius there by Reyners. Is going to be a Canada free kick. Yeah, not the best of first touches from Reyners. It opens it up for the Fougerolles to get in a battle to win it back, and then Cornelius goes. Both go up for the header there, Reyners and Cornelius deemed to have been fouled by the South African centre forward. Last minute of the 90. Is there a winning moment in 90 minutes? Not if that pass becomes more common. Awful ball there. Straight out of play from Canada. But the tension is only going to grow. It's only going to build. It's only going to become more tense, more anxious, more anticipatory as this game goes on. There is a winner somewhere. It's about who can, in their search for a winner, come up with the goods first. Ronwen Williams is in no hurry at all to find a winner. I think South Africa are more than happy to settle for extra time here. Yeah, the ring really slow at the back here, South Africa, as we will have 5 added minutes. 5 minutes of stoppage time for either one of these to snatch it late. A historic late winner, or will we need another 30 on top of this? That is what's at stake here in the final moments. De Fougerolles, nice interception. Jonathan David with his back to goal. Hasn't had much in terms of goalmouth trouble tonight. Here he is, feeding it down the left. Couldn't find Alphonso Davies, a little undercooked. Madao with the block. Alphonso Davies plays it back to Larea. Sigurd. De Fougerolles. To the right hand side. De Fougerolles again. Sigurd. Down the right comes Schaffelberg. Whips a cross in. Half cleared. Bounces to Estacchio! That was accurate! That was fabulous from Stefan Estacchio, the Canadian hero in LA. Hollywood scriptwriters would love that. That was a blockbuster finish to what was a pretty underwhelming 90 minutes. But it was always waiting for a late one. And Stefan Estacchio hit that sweet. Ronwen Williams and his teammates were trying to waste time. Well, Stefan Estacchio said he was not wasting that chance. And Hugo Broos's side are now under the cosh with just around about 3 minutes to go. Now in search of a late leveller. But this from Schaffelberg, great cross. It's half cleared. No one tracking Estacchio at the edge of the box. He's given the time to let it drop and take it on the half volley. Really good strike by Estacchio. It bounces up. Williams full stretches, nowhere near it. The accuracy and quality of the finish was sweet from Stefan Eustáquio. South Africa 0, Canada 1. And look at Jesse Marsh. Look at the bench erupting for Canada. Put a bit of maple syrup on that. That was as sweet as you like. Jonathan David pinging one forward for Schaffelberg. They're maybe not done yet, Canada. It's now do or die for South Africa. There's no time to pass it around the back now and wait with your goalkeeper to waste a bit of time. You have to go forward and you have to create a goal scoring chance. Eustáquio. Back to Crepo, who was being chased down by two. He got it launched up the field. Anywhere will do. There's clearly endeavour there, an incentive. Oh, beautiful from Alphonso Davies, and Eustáquio in behind. Promised David on the chase. Right on the back of the defender, but Mbukazi did enough. 90 seconds or so to go. South Africa 0, Canada 1. Dying embers for Canada to hang on to a lead and a goal that was scored just a few minutes ago. And look at the crowd. A very heavily influenced Canadian crowd here in SoFi Stadium. And it's just a big sigh of relief inside the stadium. I said it would get more and more tense. Well, that tension was lifted. And what a magical moment for Canada. I said, was this building to something? Was there a winner somewhere in 90 minutes? Well, Stefan Eustáquio's moment of magic is what makes the difference. And with seconds left on the clock, are Canada beckoning for a trip to the round of 16? Or have South Africa got a little twist in the tail late here? Long launch forward, down the left. Man runs into Schaffelberg, who will launch it forward. That will bounce all the way back to Ronwen Williams. I think he was saying there's another minute there, the referee. He was signalling +1, I think, is what he was saying, because the goal was scored in out of time. Chance though, Cornelius clears it away. South Africa are going all out for this now. They have to. Do or die type stuff. Don't find a goal here, you're out of the World Cup. Mpata. Out to the right hand side for Madao. Apollis into the box, cleared away by Cornelius again, getting his head to it, and Eustáquio, and cleared away by Richie Larea down the line. The whistle is not gone, 95 and plus on the clock. The cross from Madao is seen and headed away by Schaffelberg, through into South Africa. This might be their last opportunity. Whip ball into the box, into the hands of Maxime Crepo. And that should be the final whistle in a moment. It will be a free kick to Canada anyway, as Mbukazi was trying to get a bit physical there. Jesse Marsh is saying, surely time is up. Surely we're done and dusted. Surely it's all over. One more kick maybe from Crepo that will seal it. And there it is. The last 16 is where Canada will be. The co-hosts do progress. Stefan Eustáquio's magical strike is what delivers a first ever knockout win for Canada at the World Cup. In their first ever knockout game at a World Cup. They are on historic heights. These Canadian players, they've had to do it the hard way. They lost home advantage. Well, they don't feel like they've lost home advantage because the majority in here were over Canadian persuasion here at SoFi Stadium. And they enjoyed that Sweet, sweet strike from Stefan Eustáquio. Sends Canada through to the round of 16 and sees South Africa packing after their first ever knockout game in a World Cup as well. Disappointments for South Africa, but elation for Canada. Their midfield maestro was the one with the magical moments and the special strike that sends Canada packing to the round of 16. Incredible. It will be Netherlands or Morocco who they will face in the last 16, Canada. They had to work for it, they had to fight for it. South Africa were rigid and stubborn at the back. But in the end, they were undone. And Bafana heading home. And Canada are heading on to the round of 16. Final score in our round of 32 opener that ended in a thrilling fashion. It finishes South Africa 0, Canada 1. And that is game 1 of 16 in the round of 32 in the books. And a late winner from Stefan Eustáquio is what delivers progression for Canada to the round of 16 as they knock out South Africa in this one. We will be able to show you what that means for the bracket. I mean, it means very little. You know who's going through and you know who's going out. But if it will update for me, it would be great if it did update. Nonetheless, we do know who they will play. Will it be either the Netherlands or Morocco? We'll find out in the early hours of Tuesday morning. That game will be played between the Netherlands and Morocco to see who progresses to play Canada in the round of 16. And that is a exciting matchup and one for Canada to really look forward to. Of course, it will be in Houston, and that will be played in 6 days' time on July the 4th. Next Saturday, 6 o'clock UK kickoff from Houston, Texas. But as I said, that's only one game down. We've got lots more to come from the round of 32 as we get it underway, and we have another huge matchup tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Brazil take on Japan. The Group C winners take on the Group F runners-up in the round of 32 battle in Houston tomorrow, 6 o'clock here on LFS. But the co-hosts through to the round of 16. Canada had to fight to the death to claim victory in what was a South African side who'd made some major defensive involvements and some goal-saving bits of defending on multiple occasions. Canada probably could have had the lead much earlier, but they needed to wait. Eustáquio with the magical strike that sees Canada into the last 16.